We're going to do program 1123. I'm going to do the sky mirror first to clue you in about the next 10 days and what each day is like. It's great fun. A lot of people depend on this, and they review it again and again. You can get the show on YouTube, just YouTube Astrology with Roland Frost. You can go back to it easily and check it out. Or on my website, skymirrorastrology.com/TV. So, a lot of folks tell me this really works. Yes. So here it is. What's going on in the sky? This is just a picture, you know. Here's the horizon. And right away you notice I've drawn Neptune large because Neptune is slowing down to stop. Yeah, Neptune is going to go retrograde on the 18th of June, which means you're already in the zone of it powering up. It'll peak out on the 18th. And all you'll be thinking about is Neptune. What is Neptune? Well, for one thing, it's fog. It's invisible gases you can't see. It's a lot of stuff. Neptune is Pisces. I draw him like a cup here because he's full of wine. Booze. He also has to do with chemistry and Roundup and drugs. The ocean, fish. And mostly a lot of things that aren't, they have a very shiny exterior. I call them priest, artist, doctor, musician, because all these guys aren't quite what they seem. They have very glamorous exteriors. Oh yeah, doctor, doctor. That's no fun. And outside, underneath the glamorous exterior, sometimes the fish is getting old, starting to smell. Yep. Anyway, Neptune. You're going to feel this over the next couple of weeks. We're going to have some fun with it. It's trining over here. This is a 120-degree angle to Jupiter. So there's a lot of truth and wisdom coming out. And they're both sextiling Pluto. Discovery. I think last 2 weeks ago I told you the truth about how fog got labeled bad. The health department had to save their federal money. And they looked around for an air pollution thing and they just grabbed fog. And they made a big mistake because they don't know anything about fog. I do. I analyze it. Pure ammonium sulfate. I'm a high-class chemist about environmental stuff. Done it all my life. So I see these guys running around with a meter to measure sulfur dioxide with masks on like it's the most worst poison in the world. And they're scaring people too, because they're scared. Truth is, if you walk into some SO2, you're going to smell it right away. It has a horrible odor. You get out of there quick. The interesting thing about H2S and SO2 is if you breathe a couple of lungfuls of it, it kind of numbs out the nerves in your nose, and you don't smell it anymore. So when you first smell it, your nose is a defensive instrument. You know, back out, get to higher ground. These gases are heavier than air, and they run along the ground. They're not up in the air in the fog. The only thing that's not confused is the laze. Laze is a small plume of glass and hydrochloric acid where the lava enters the ocean. It's a small little thread like a rope, a white plume that runs along the coast. That is dangerous. That needs to be truthfully described as a horrible, horrible health hazard. Anyway, H2S and SO2, if you lay down in a big bucket of it, you won't breathe, you know. It'll knock down your breathing. But, you know, it doesn't happen. Smells too bad. Anyway, a lot of truth coming out about this stuff. Neptune, trine Jupiter, sextile Pluto. Very nice. See, we got Mars here opposing Venus towards the end of your next week. Romeo and Juliet are going to fight. You watch it. And here's Uranus squaring them both. There's split-ups and temporary arrangements and stuff. Oh boy. In the middle of the week, Mercury here sextiles Uranus, and you'll get some high-tech information. Uranus rules higher mental science, like astrology. Neptune rules liquids and chemistry and things you can't see. It's Pisces. These two are not friendly. No, because if you're a Neptune person, Pisces rising, Uranus is Aquarius, it's your 12th house. Science is the enemy of religion. Well, not so much an enemy as it's a great danger, because a scientist can come out and say, well, the Earth is 4 billion years old. We measured it. Uh-oh, what about the Bible, says the priest. So, Neptune has persecuted Aquarian things. Jesus was an Aquarian spirit, and he got brought down by the local priests. Yes. They've attacked astrology right along. Priests, PhDs, people who are... I'll never forget, 30 years ago, about 100 professors at UH signed this document saying astrology was a charlatan's bunk thing. And, they get on a big bandwagon in Neptune. I'm a professor. I'm special. I have wisdom. They didn't know anything about astrology. No. Haley once remarked a bad thing. He didn't know about astrology. But Haley, the guy, the comet astronomer, made a disparaging remark. And our hero stepped up and said, "Sir, I have studied it. You have not." Yes, Newton himself. Well, it's an old thing, this Neptune-Uranus, this Pisces-Aquarius thing. I won't labor you with it, but interesting planetary setups. And the best way to understand this lots of time, well, you'd like to know where it is on your chart. But you got to know your rising sign. Do you know your rising sign? You don't? Well, email rolandfrost@yahoo.com with your birth data, and I'll figure it out and send it to you free. You need to know your rising sign just to get into this sacred science. And it's not that hard. You'd be surprised. Of course, this looks really complicated, doesn't it? No. These are just the relationships, these red and blue lines, and how these guys get along. And these guys are the actors on the stage. I mean, you all know who Venus is. You know who Mars is. Yes. So what's going to happen here is the moon goes around this thing once a month, and as it moves through this pattern, it generates the mood of the times. And that's what we're about to do. All right, let's see. If you're in a Thursday show, you're right in here. Got to go back to Wednesday morning when the moon went by Neptune to get that flavor. Neptune, Pisces flavor. Delicious sometimes. Thursday night show, well, here's the moon squaring Saturn. You're depressed. But it's sextiling Mars. You get out and do some physical work. The heroes are out, but the judge put some limits on it. Moon's in Aries. Still in Aries Friday. And here's a nice sextile to the sun. Friday afternoon around dinner time too. You can make a plan. Yeah, get yourself together. Friday night late, this is around midnight or so, the moon squares Pluto. It's in sextile to Mercury, so there's good talk, but it tends to go to extremes. And there's a little scariness here too, from the square from Pluto. Eek a bug is what I call it. Moon's in Aries. Continues through Saturday. Saturday morning, the moon squares Venus. And we all want some sweets and some sex, but it just doesn't happen. It's a square. Or you ruin it by... Anyway. Not good for love. Saturday morning, moon squaring Venus. Saturday evening, the moon goes into Taurus. And here after dinner, it hits Uranus. And there's electric brotherhood and higher mental stuff comes out. Could be quite nice. I like it when the moon goes by Uranus. Good for studying astrology. Sunday morning, moon's in Taurus. Starts with a nasty old square to Mars. Little anger and impatience there Sunday morning. Ask yourself what you're protecting. After your anger period, here's a trine to Saturn. You get all organized before lunch. around lunchtime. So first comes the irritation, anger, impatience, and then you get a plan together. Cool. Sunday night is interesting because here's an opposition to Jupiter. Everybody's overdoing it. At the same time, there's a sextile to Neptune. A little music will help. The clowns will stop clowning around so much. You know, it's okay if it's a little bit loud as long as you're playing good music. And there is good music Sunday night. Good time to read Jesus. When you read heavens in the King James, substitute sky. That's what he did. He took sky out and put heavens in. Moon in Taurus. Monday morning, nice trine to Pluto on the 11th. Discovery. Yeah. Discover some new things. Monday night, here's a nice sextile to Venus. There are sweets after all. Take your favorite person to dinner Monday night. Good mellow time. Shifts into Gemini after dinner and becomes a little more physical. Here's Romeo. Venus here and Mars is Romeo, see? They're not too far apart. These are degrees. So this is about 10 degrees. Of course, that's almost a whole day. So Monday is sexy and sweet. And then Tuesday is more, I want mine, physical. That's Romeo. Too bad you're not a little closer. Moon in Gemini. Late Tuesday night hits the square to Neptune. Confusion, delusion. You're only a week away from the station. Liquids are going to be a problem Tuesday night. Gasoline, things that come from oil, anything derived from there. Alcohol, gasoline, pentane. I'm worried about pentane at geothermal. They got geothermal knocked down good. I used to do injection wells. Load the tube with mud, cap it off. I don't care if the lava covers it, just dig it out and get it going again. So they're all worried about geothermal. It's going to blow up the whole island. Jeez. Fake news? We're beginning to call it fear porn. Yeah, fear porn. There's a lot of fear porn going on in the media about our island. The whole thing is just happening in just a little corner of the island. Look, I drew a picture. Here's the island. And just a little Pele fire over there. It's kind of pretty if you don't get too close. Anyway, this Neptune thing could be worries about, gases and fog and stuff of that nature. So Tuesday night, you got to be on your toes. Don't drink too much. Wednesday, on the 13th, well, that's a new moon. Yeah, in Gemini, the moon's going to hit the sun. Happens in the middle of the day and just after lunch. Good time for a new start. We're going to make new beginnings. That's what this is about. And it's nice. It sextiles Uranus. This is a high-tech time. No, Neptune, no good. Go for Uranus. Aquarian, use your common sense and your mentality, not your feeling and belief. You got a whole month. Study astrology. Here's an exact sextile to Uranus. It's Wednesday night after dinner. And your higher mental abilities are going to come out. Nice. Very nice. Thursday morning, well, the moon's gone into Cancer. And here's opposes Saturn. It's slow. We're all broke. It's cold. Not enough time. Who are those guys with the suits and ties? Well, more on them guys later. They're a problem in this country, these Saturn characters. Managers, CEOs. Never mind. Thursday night, here is this is sweet. Here's Neptune and Jupiter and trine. Makes a big grand trine. So there's going to be some wonderful music. A lot of truths come out. You know, we're going to learn more about priest, artists, doctor, musicians, learn more about things you can't see, ghosts, Vogue. That's what Neptune does. Well, truth is there. That's what Jupiter is. He's going to unveil a lot of these things that are hidden. Thursday night. Friday morning, the moon's opposing Pluto. There may be some things discovered that you're not sure of. Eek, is that really what came out? I don't know. Moon's still in Cancer as you go through Friday. There is a nice conjunction to Venus Friday night. Here it is. But it squares Uranus. No sooner have you settled into a loving situation than the phone rings, and the alarm goes off, and the horn's honking. Interruptions. Saturday, the moon's in Leo. There it makes an opposition to Mars. So people are angry and impatient. And evidently Venus wasn't there. Juliet bailed out all of a sudden, and Romeo is ticked off. And you're going to see some of that Saturday morning. Too bad for Romeo. Saturday afternoon and evening, here the moon goes by the North Node. A lot of nurturing around. But there's a square to Jupiter, and we're overdoing it, huh? Sunday, on the 17th, here's that nice sun, Uranus. This is a time when electric brotherhood, something new, something different, something original, non-traditional. That's what we got to do here. How do we convert that idiot president to fixing global warming? I mean, jeez, stop putting idiots in charge of our government, our important institutions. Incredible what's going on there. Well, common sense will cut through it. And this is the media. Uranus is the media. And you're going to see some hero journalists come out and tell the truth. Sunday night. Watch.